In this video, I would like to make a very humble, polite, and simple request of Alana Pearce. In the recent video of hers I just watched, she shared a clip from an old video of hers. The old video is from September 16th, 2022, and it is private. She shows that it's now called Q&A, Am I Excited for People to Play God of War? And archives show that most of the people who saw it were shown the title Q&A, What It's Like to Work on God of War. My simple request is this: Alana, would you please kindly unprivate that video? I ask because in this new video of yours, you say,
I never claimed anywhere to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok. I claimed to be a writer at Santa Monica Studio. But they're accusing me of specifically lying about being a writer on God of War Ragnarok. Again, a thing I never said. In fact, I have some clips, and there are a lot of these, by the way. I've just pulled a few.
And one of those clips that she says supports the claim that she has never said she was a writer on Ragnarok is pulled from the aforementioned private video. Let's take a look at it.
It's just, you're in for a ride. And I say that as someone who still largely feels like a bystander. I did very little work on this game. Yeah, the reception has been absolutely wonderful and so nice to watch, more on behalf of the people I work with than on behalf of me, again, who I didn't do shit.
So humble. Very nice. But some things bother me. See, I came across an interesting Twitter thread. Let me read it for you. October 7th, 2022, Alana responds to a post that is now deleted. She says, I joined the studio in 2020 and I worked on the game. I have no idea why y'all would assume this to be a negative, especially when I have always been an enormous God of War fan, but it is what it is. OP responds, chill out, you're in the internet. It's really usual for people to assume your particular role would affect negatively on their most beloved game. Don't take it personally, this happens in every entertainment medium. She responds, Lamau. OP says, I take it that you're not upset about our subjective concerns. She responds, no, I'm not upset, but I do think a defense of, it's completely normal for people to be upset that a writer who is a fan of the series is writing on the series is funny. OP responds, alright, one way or another I will know your specific role when the game came out, I'll apologize only then, but for now being a fan isn't assuring my worry for one of my most anticipated beloved game, respect to you and all the devs. Alana responds, you have no reason to worry that a trained professional writer would be writing on a game. That's not at all normal / definitely not something that happens in every entertainment mediums. Don't feign respect where there is none, but thanks anyway. OP says, as a fan, it's my right to worry, even on veteran writers, that they maybe lost their touch over time. Worrying on the game's performance, especially these times, is reasonable. Going in fans mentions and consider their worry as an attack is unprofessional, Miss Professional Writer. Alana shoots back, you quote tweeted me, aka mentioned me. I didn't come to you unprompted. But that's fair, though it means you should also be tweeting all the other writers with the same concerns and not just singling me out for no reason. Now, I'm not a professional writer and she didn't literally say the words, I'm a writer for Ragnarok, but sounds to me like she's saying here, she was a writer on it. And what's even more interesting than that is that prior to the deleted comment she initially responded to, someone posted a URL, which as you've seen I plugged into the Wayback Machine and it turns out, hey, that's the link to one of the private videos she quoted. And most people who saw it saw the title as, What It's Like to Work on God of War. And another really cool trick knowing the URL enables me to do is to look up the archive of its transcript, which turned out to be available on a tool I like to use a lot. According to this archive, in a video titled, What It's Like to Work on God of War, you answered the question, what do you actually do? Are you writing story, lore, dialogue, etc.? By saying, I get asked this a lot, so I figured I would answer it, even though I've kind of paraphrased that question. The writers on my team write everything. We all write everything, with the exception of there are things that I'm better at writing and things that I'm not good at writing. Not good at writing romance, so if something romantic existed, I would pass on it. I'd be like, hey, probably this person is better at writing this, so they should write that. You just play to the team's strengths. In case of my team, we all write everything. And that is similar in my experience to every other game studio that I have been involved in. Maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm crazy. Answering that question that way in a video you titled, What It's Like to Work on God of War, sounds to me like you're saying, you wrote on God of War. In answer to another question, she stated again what she does is write games. Again, I remind you, this was in a video titled What It's Like to Work on God of War, which was a Q&A session that was spurred on by and dropped 3 days after the Ragnarok story trailer dropping. And on top of this, less than a month later, as I showed you earlier, she was on Twitter defending her role as a writer to some random guy, specifically with regard to God of War Ragnarok.
I never even claimed to be a writer on God of War Ragnarok anywhere. I never implied implied it. I never said it. I only ever said I didn't do shit.
So, if the transcript is wrong, if I've misunderstood, would you please unprivate that video? And if I can be a real pain, may I ask that you revert its title to what it was before you privated it? You know, the one that 99% of people saw it with, and that really, really makes it look like you were saying you wrote on Ragnarok.
I understand that if you don't really watch my content and you haven't seen those clips, and obviously content creators who are trying to lie about telling you that I said I wrote on this game are not showing you these clips because it doesn't suit their story.
Sorry, Alana. This doesn't really hit when you're trying to show people select snippets of evidence from videos you've privated. Snippets of evidence that, by the way, are just you being humble. Oh, I didn't do anything, I didn't do jack all. Making those sleds is so incredible. You know, being nice, knowing your place, downplaying what you did compared to other people. But in the archived transcript of that video, there seems to be a snippet that you didn't include for some reason. It's very cool to have, you know, done enough work to be in the credits. It's I think the third AAA game that I have a credit in, but definitely the one that I had the biggest hand in. So who's not showing who stuff because it doesn't fit the story? By the way, I have no idea why this matters. I haven't watched the videos attacking her. I just started watching her video about the controversy and she came off really slimy, so I checked. Only took a couple minutes and I'm not going to bother looking for more because who knows what else she's more successfully hidden, deleted, or privated, given what we now know of her MO. You know, challenging people to find her saying something when, regardless of the original reason, she knows most of her videos are private, using little snippets from stuff that you can't check. Embarrassing.